Hi there and welcome to today's video. I'm Vanessa Cosmo and I love all things beauty related. I haven't done an all drugstore video in a while. I've been setting these products aside to do an all drugstore video and I thought it'd be great to do that in today's video. My holiday look definitely had some pricier items in it, so I think to balance that out, it'd be nice to use some more cost-effective products. So we're gonna do something a little bit different than what I normally do. I'm gonna start with the eyes first because I kind of want this to be more of an easy to follow tutorial, something you could do on your own, nothing too crazy. So I want this to be very wearable, flashes of blue, and very evening appropriate. So without a further ado, let's get into the video. I am going to prep my skin first. This is just going to make it really easy if there is any fallout and we need to remove that underneath our eyes. So for that, what I'm first going to do is go in with the Avène Eau Thermal Spring Water. This is just going to add some hydration. It's just going to make it really easy if I need to remove any of the eyeshadow that may fall down while I'm doing this. And then I'm going to use the FLOWERBeauty In Your Prime Hydrating Primer. This is just a really nice hydrating primer to start with, especially if you have very dry skin. We want to keep our skin looking nice and fresh. The foundation I'm going to be using is a little on the full coverage heavy side. Because we're doing a blue eye look, blues can really bring out redness, purple, discoloration, dark circles. So I tend to use more coverage type of products when doing those type of looks because you don't want those areas to detract from the eye look. All right, that's been smoothed in. Now, if you're someone who has enlarged pores, you're a little bit on the oily side and you want this to last a bit longer, you can go in with a mattifying primer. I have two options from the drugstore. The first one's a little bit pricey. It's the Korres Pomegranate Mattifying Primer. The next product is the Monistat Complete Care Chafing Relief Powder Gel. Now, I know that might seem like a really odd product to use as a primer, but I have been using this for years. It is my secret go-to product that I use for pretty much event makeup. This stuff locks it in. It literally feels like a gel that dries down to a powder. So it's really smoothing, really helps to fill in my pore area. And for some reason, it is the best base that I have used for my makeup for special events. It just kind of keeps it all in place. And I think it's like $3. I wouldn't use this every day because I think you may end up clogging your pores. For special occasions, I think this is a really good secret. So our base is pretty much ready to go. Let's get the eyes on. So for eyes, what I'm gonna do is I don't have an eyeshadow primer at the moment from the drugstore. So I'm gonna use the FLOWERBeauty, I think this is the Light Illusion Full Coverage Concealer. This is what I'm gonna use for my eye primer. I'm just placing a dot on either lid. I just find that if I don't use a concealer or an eye primer, my eyeshadows get very patchy, they crease right away because my eyelids are super oily. But also, again, going back to the fact that this will be a blue eye, any veiny veins you might have on your eyelids or purple discoloration, you're going to want to cover up because you don't want that competing with the blue eyeshadow. And then to set that in place, we're just going to use the powder that we'll be using all over our face. And I'm going to use the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear. I'm in the shade, I think 10. Now I have a couple shadows here. I'm not sure which ones I will need for this, so I grabbed two of the Revlon quads. I have the shade 965 Tantrum Catrice. Now this is warm tone, but sometimes I like warm tones with cool tones so the eye isn't, I don't know, too dead looking. Then this is the shade 961, that's a Dub Victor, I don't know. These two here, you can see there is a lovely blue in this one. And then the one that really caught my eye the other day, again, this is another Revlon quad, which I think kind of they have the best eyeshadows at the drugstore. This is the Revlon ColorStay Day to Night. It says it's going to last up to 24 hours. This shade right here is 580 Gorgeous, which it certainly is. So that is a very pretty blue quad. I'm gonna do my best to create a full eye look using these, and we'll see how it turns out. So I'm gonna scooch in a little bit closer so you can kind of see everything that's going on. I'm actually gonna start with this shade right here. I'm just going in with an angled brush. So since we're starting with the eyes, if they get a little messy, don't worry about it. We can take a makeup wipe and just clean it up. That is the lovely benefit of starting with your eyes. Now I'm gonna try and do something a little sharper than what I normally do, a little bit more dramatic. This also is gonna be a look that pretty much comes together at the very end, but it does make it easier to match your blush and your lip when you have your eyes already done, as opposed to doing it the way I do it, which I typically do everything except for my eyes and a lip, and then I'll do my eyes and then the lipstick at the very end to match. Whereas this way, we can work the other way around when you have a specific eye look in mind. And this also is really good for beginners or those of you who may not be as versed in makeup as others. This is how I started out, but if you're doing something dramatic, I would say start with the eyes. We've got that shade all over. It's looking it's looking a little crazy, but don't worry, it's part of the process. Now I'm gonna take this shade from the 961 That's a Dub dupe, I don't know. Same brush going into it, and I'm just gonna place that a little bit lower where I placed everything else. And I'm actually gonna try this shade right here from Gorgeous, but I'm gonna use a flat brush, so something like this. And I'm just gonna go into this shade right here. Ooh, that's very intense. And I'm gonna place that, there we go. It's giving it a more like midnight blue, which is what I was wanting. I'm going to take that out, blend together. I'm gonna do the same on the other side. And then we're gonna go on top with this blue right here with my hand. You can see it right there, it's really pretty. And then bringing it right up to that winged out part. Don't worry if this is messy, we're gonna be cleaning it up. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of this silver and place that right in the middle. Kind of like a spotlight. So you wanna place that right above like the center of your iris if you're looking straight in the mirror. And then I'm going to take this shade from the 965 Tantrum right here with a pencil brush, and that's gonna be my inner corner highlight. So I'm just gonna do the top part for now, and then we'll also place this under the brow once we've cleaned up everything and actually done our eyebrows. So yes, this looks super crazy, but it's all part of the process. So I'm gonna take my makeup wipe, just gonna clean up the edges and any fallout. Tap the edges to kind of blur them. Still looking super crazy, I know. Now we can move on to doing the rest of our complexion, and then we'll come back and finish the eye look in a minute. Just checking to see if I need any more spray. I might go back in and do another spritz. Just keeping my skin very hydrated. And then again, because I really want that glow, I'm gonna use the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Highlighter. This is the Glow Booster for radiant skin. I'm just going to put this pretty liberally where I want extra hydration, but also some glow and luminosity. Then I'm going to use the True Skin Hydrating Foundation from Catrice. I'm in the shade 004 Neutral Porcelain. This is a really, really good full coverage foundation that you can find at the drugstore. It had its moment, and I think aside from Tati, I don't really hear many people talking about it. I'm gonna use the back of my hand as my palette to work from. Now, that looks like a lot, but you're probably going to use a fair bit because we do want a more full coverage look. Then I'm gonna go in with this Real Techniques foundation brush. And what I'm gonna do is just push the foundation into the bristles like that. Really try to pick it all up. That's just gonna give me a little bit more control when I'm applying this. Now I'm gonna use another brush around my eyes because we already have makeup there and we want to be very careful not to disturb it. So I'm gonna use a smaller brush to pinpoint that area. But I'm just blending the liquid halo highlighter together with the foundation to give some extra glow. Now, if you have dry skin, I would definitely recommend making sure you've got moisturizer on your face and then maybe even mixing in a face oil with this foundation because I have oily skin and even on me this looks a little drying. Even though it says it's hydrating, I just find full coverage foundations to be very dry. So already we can see things are taking shape. Now for concealer, I'm going to use the NYX Bare With Me concealer. I'm using the shade Fair. I'm going to use the back of my hand as my palette. And then I'm just using a fluffy brush that's angled to apply that underneath my eyes and where I might need a bit more coverage. Just working that into the bristles of the brush. Scooch in so you can see. Then I'm going to take the FLOWERBeauty one, just place it where I need a bit more coverage, and I'm going to work to blend everything out. Okay, everything has been canceled out. I know I look a little ghostly, especially because you have this contrasting blue and then everything else that's very white and pale because we haven't added any color. So don't worry, we're gonna fix it. Now I'm gonna go in and powder at this point. I'm gonna use a loose powder to set everything. And if I feel like I need a bit more coverage in, then I will go in with the Infallible 24-hour wear powder. Just using a triangle, I'm going to go into the Maybelline Fit Me. I'm in the shade 05 Fair. Then I'm just going to press that underneath my eyes, then a bit on my forehead. Just going to take a clean fluffy brush and dust off anything that might be extra. We don't want anything clinging to the skin and still looking ghostly. Let's finish the eyebrows because they are weirding me out a little bit. My face does not match the rest of my body, which we need to fix. For eyebrows, I'm going to use the NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Pen, but I'm also going to use and dip into my little AnastasiaBeverlyHills Auburn Brow Powder. Since we already have the shape mapped out with the eyes, it's going to be fairly easy to do them. So that's one side done. I really like this pencil for creating those hair-like strokes. It does a really good job of mimicking them, and it's quite affordable. Also, I've had this for like 2 years and it hasn't seemed to dry out on me. At least I don't think I've replaced it. Maybe I have and I can't remember, but it is an eyebrow pencil that I really enjoy. Now I'm gonna go into that Auburn reddish shade here and just add a bit of red to match my hair. Aside from setting spray, this is the only high-end product I'm gonna use. I can't stop looking at how ghostly I am in my monitor. And then I'm just gonna use the NYX Thick It and Stick It Thickening Brow Mascara in the shade Brunette. I've already put on most of the eyeshadow, so if anything gets in the brows, there won't be any powder fibers to really cling to it at this point. Let's start to add some color back to my face. So I'm gonna go in with the Maybelline City Bronzer. I have the shade 100. That's what it looks like here. And I'm just gonna take a really big, flat brush. I like this paddle brush so much, especially because I really need to match my face to my neck area. So I'm going to have to do quite a bit of bronzing. I'm really just taking it everywhere, because I do not want to look ghostly. So my nose. And then my jawline, I'm actually gonna run it right along the like middle of my line so that this part and the part underneath are all the same color, so that the only like pale parts of my face are here, 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 and here. Like this area, if that makes any sense. Just looking more normal. We're definitely looking glam, but I really like the eye shape. And then if you must, you can bring it down a bit down your neck. And a big brush just helps to do that very quickly. This brush is from Spectrum. It's their A31 brush. We're looking much more normal. Okay, I'm feeling sassy. That's a good sign. For blush, we have a few options, and I'll probably do a combination of both because I think both these colors are gonna look really nice with this eye look. The first one is the Maybelline Fit Me in the shade 35, which is this really soft kind of peachy shade that's gonna look really nice with the blue. And then the next option that I have is the FLOWERBeauty Flower Pot blush shade. This is in Barrymore, which again is gonna help with like a deeper tone. So what we're gonna do is focus the deeper shade right out here, and then we're gonna take the lighter shade and pop it on the apple. So you can see that here, this is kind of the placement that we're gonna use. So deeper shade here and then lighter shade right there. We're gonna start with this one using this flat brush. This is the Luxie 514 blush brush. Just going in, picking up a good amount, and then I'm just gonna tap on the back of my hand to see what kind of color I'm getting. Okay. And I'm just gonna pat. This is a nice soft blush, and I feel like that's just adding a hint of elegance to this look. Again, this is one of my favorite blush colors, and it just happens to be from the drugstore. It's very light, very soft. Now we'll go in with the one from FLOWERBeauty. If I need to add a bit more, I can use a different brush. Now I know this one's a lot more intense, so when I go in, I go on the back of my hand before I go on my cheek, and we're doing this higher up. So you can see how it looks like just a slightly deeper version of the blush that we have on the cheeks of the Maybelline one. Wow, who is she? Okay, we have the blush on. Now for a little bit of highlighter, we gotta get our glitz on. I'm gonna use the Revlon Skin Lights Prismatic Highlighter in the shade 201 Daybreak Glimmer. Oh, it's such a beautiful gold shade. I love this one. I'm gonna use a fan brush. Go into it. I mean, the Pixie highlighters are actually really awesome as well. We're just gonna focus that right up here, kind of dust it upwards and outwards. So up, and then just kind of shaping like a C right here around the eye, so that when I turn, there's just a little bit of like a candlelit glow. And I want a little bit on my nose. There we go. And then what I'm actually gonna do is the same brush I used earlier to do the inner corner highlighter, we're gonna do that with this, just to kind of have a little bit of cohesivity between the top highlighter on the outer edges of my face and then what's going on in the center. And it's just gonna warm it up a little bit so it's not so frosty, because we have a lot of warmth going on the rest of the face. And this is why I really, really enjoy doing warm tones with cool tones. It's something I do all the time because I think that's the best way to make them work. I think you can always do warm tones with warm tones. If you're doing like a warm toned eye, it's very easy to do a warm toned cheek with it. But cool tones are a little bit harder to figure out, and that's why I think if you use a little bit of warmth, it just actually makes it look more wearable in my opinion. Now, I wanted to add something underneath here. I think what we're gonna do is just the lightest little bit of one of the shades that I used earlier, but I kind of like the bare look because if I was going to do lashes, which I don't like false lashes, I'm gonna be honest, even though this look would be amazing with false lashes, I do not have the patience for false lashes. They irritate my eyes, and I am more of like a natural glam kind of lady, so I just want my lashes to look big and voluminous using mascara. And I just feel like false lashes, although they can really elevate a makeup look, I just don't have the patience for them. And I don't have the technique, and I'm gonna be honest about that. It takes me probably about a half an hour to get both lashes on. And I just don't think it's worth it. I try to do more natural makeup, stuff that's actually very wearable. And so sticking true to my style, I'm gonna skip the lashes. Okay, I'm gonna use the same pencil brush because I'm pretty much done with it. Actually, I'll do a little bit of highlighting right on the top with whatever's left on the brush from the highlighter that we used from Revlon. And then I'm gonna go into a mixture of these two shades right here. Now all that does is add a little bit of connection between the top and the bottom here. And then also if I was unable to get my concealer all the way up in here, it kind of hides that seam, the line between my lashes and where the concealer ends. And if you find that that just made the look a little too dark, a little too smoky, you can go in with a brightening pencil. This one is from Essence. It is the Extreme Lasting Eye Pencil. This is in the shade 06 Silky Nude. That's just gonna help to brighten up the look, make it a little bit more cleaner. All right, I gotta curl my lashes. That is a must for me. So the combination I think what I'm gonna use is the Essence Princess Lash Effect, the waterproof one. And then I'm also gonna use the Lash Paradise from L'Oreal. I think these two together will just give me the best lashes that I'm looking for. And I'm just coating a few on the bottom using the Lash Princess from Essence. So we have one eye done. That's this side. I think you can see a difference where it's a lot more lifted and open, whereas this one looks a little bit more droopy and less clean and polished. We're so close to the end, and I'm so enjoying how this look is coming together. These are definitely some of my most favorite drugstore products, which is why I put them all together for a special event, kind of red carpet look. If I really wanted to do something all drugstore, these are the products I would recommend personally that I enjoy the most, and I think that give you a look that's very high-end looking, that looks like it cost quite a bit more than it did. So let's just put on the lip and I'll stop talking. So for the lip, I want to keep this very along the lines of the pinks and the peaches. So I think I'm going to use the L'Oreal Liquid Lip paired with the Revlon pink lipstick, because I think this kind of tone, this nude, looks best with a blue eye. I'm not going to use a lip liner because these are nudes anyways, so I'll just let you know what shade this is from L'Oreal. This is the L'Oreal Liquid Lip in the shade 4116 I Create. And then the pink matte lipstick is the Revlon Superstay Lustrous Matte in 004 Wild Thoughts. So I'm going to put both of those on together. I'm going to start with the L'Oreal one because it's got a nice precise tip that's going to help to kind of use it as a liner, as you can see right there. Now this one's very close to my natural lip color, which is why I enjoy it so much. All right, going in with Wild Thoughts on top. Not bad if I do say so myself. This is pretty much the finished makeup look. I really like how it turned out. I'm so happy this actually came together how I imagined it would. I'm gonna give you a close-up of the eyes. Just so you can see what they look like, but I love this look so much. I feel like this is something I would wear out for like a date night, Valentine's Day, any special event, honestly. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, found it really helpful, and love you all so much. I'll see you in my next one. Bye!